Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I bring with our kids for our camping trips to keep them busy and entertained, whether it's sunny or rainy. Because when it is raining, we like to keep them still outside, but we put a big tarp up over our table, so they need things that they can play with at the table as well if they can't run around or don't feel like getting wet or muddy when it's raining. Our kids are 9, 6, and 4, so we like to keep them as busy as we can because we don't like to spend any time inside. We like to be outdoors, rain or shine. So if you do enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up, as it does help my channel a lot. If you do enjoy today's video along with other content you see here on my channel, I would love if you consider subscribing and joining my YouTube family. So hit that red subscribe button and the notification bell to miss any future videos from me. So let me know in the comments below if you do camp, if there's things that I haven't mentioned that you like to bring with you, because I'm always open to new ideas to keep my kids busy. So the one thing we always bring with us for our oldest is his bike. He absolutely loves riding around the campground, meeting other kids, taking his bike around, and we give him a walkie-talkie when he rides around the campground. I'll talk about this in a second. My daughter doesn't love to ride a bike yet, so we don't usually bring one for her, and my youngest has started to like to ride his, so we do bring his as well. Another thing we do bring is my oldest has a kayak. One of those kids kayaks, I think is by Solo, that you can get from Costco. Absolutely amazing. My oldest absolutely loves using it. My daughter has started using it, and my youngest started to kind of try to use it last year. So definitely great to have if you're by a lake, because we often do try to camp near a lake, so we like to have stuff that we can do on the water. We also have a couple paddle boards, and they're not just for us adults. The kids absolutely love going on them. We will go on with them with our younger kids, and they will sit on it with one of us, and they absolutely like kind of going around on it. So paddle boards, kayaks, stuff like that are really great for a water activity for the kids. And also the nice thing about the paddle boards, they're blow up paddle boards, so they just go in a bag. We usually travel with them on the banquette when we're traveling, and then my son's kayak fits perfectly in front of the couch, so we're able to keep that stored away on the couch when we are on our travel days. Otherwise we store it just underneath the trailer when we're at the campsite. Now walkie-talkies to me is a huge must-have for kids. It's good for a couple of reasons. Number one, like my kids don't have cell phones. Number two, not every campground has cell reception either. So I have a lanyard on this. I have one for each of the kids. We have 4 walkie-talkies, and I have lanyards for all of them. So like my son will ride his bike around, he'll put this around his neck, and that way I can keep in contact with him, let him know when it's dinner, see where he's at. The other great thing is, like, I was on my own with the kids at the campground, so I was able to send them a couple sites down to the playground, all 3 of them. My oldest had the walkie-talkie, and I kept in contact with them. So it's a really great way to keep that open line of communication with your kids, but at the same time to give them a little bit of freedom and independence at the campsite. Another bonus as well for it is not just for the kids, but as my husband and I, because I'm usually on the ground communicating with him over my phone, but we do camp at campsites with no cell reception, so then we communicate on the walkie-talkies. So I definitely recommend these ones. Are the midline kind. I got them from Costco. They were fairly inexpensive, and they've worked really well. So highly recommend getting some walkie-talkies. Plus the kids also like kind of going around and playing around with each other in the woods with them too, so they're a bit of a game as well. I have these little flashlights for our kids as well, so they're handheld, easy, they can get wet, they're not going to get wrecked. But my oldest also has a headlamp. These are really fantastic. If they have to use the bathroom in the middle at night when it's dark, then they're not worried about dropping anything down the toilet. But this is my son's headlamp, and it's comfortable, easy for him to wear. So this is definitely something really handy to have as they get older. My husband and I each have a headlamp, so eventually my daughter will probably have one, and my youngest will have one, because these are great, but sometimes they're annoying to hold on to. So this way they can simply just put this on their head, and it's not in the way and everything else. So those are the couple things I want to start with. The next thing I want to talk about is I have glow sticks here. So these I got for a birthday party for the kids, and they're just a basic pack of glow sticks. I got them for like goodie bags. I had them left over, so I thought what perfect place to use them at a campground. They're great because they stay lit for a while, so they're perfect at night as it gets dark. And I also have these sparklers. So I had sparklers that I used when I was a kid when we were at our cottage at night, and it's always a lot of fun. They're super cool to use. So I throw these in because we don't use them regularly. Like this package I had last year, we haven't opened it yet. But it's a nice option to have for something else. If you're looking for something fun to do and it's at night, and you have a campfire going wherever, you can light them. So it's kind of a fun activity that the kids would not regularly do at home, so it's a bit of a treat. The next thing I want to talk about here is I always have books with me. I have some easy learn to read books for my kids. I have some other books here. Books are always great to have because sometimes in the evening, if they're sitting in their bunks and you want them to have some quiet time before they go to sleep, they can grab a book because, of course, we're not at home. They don't have a TV or an iPad or anything like that. So having some books on hand are great. Also, if you are traveling a bit, it's great to have some books on hand already with you. And some of these books are not the same as we have at home. So I definitely recommend books. We had board books last year. My youngest is kind of getting out of the board books thing. So we have a few of them, but not as many. But any type of books I think is great to have for the kids, because often when you're camping is when you'll have a bit more quiet time than you might have at home and time to settle down and look at a book. This next thing here is something that's kind of for us as a family, for the kids as well, and something I'm going to get the kids to help with this year is we have a journal. So this journal I write in every single day. So I have everywhere we camped last year. I have the site number we are at, how many nights we are at that campsite. If I like that campsite, sometimes I'd walk around and say, oh, this is another good site if we camped here again. But what I'm going to get the kids to do this year is at least one of the days that we're camping, I want to get them to write their perspective of what they liked about their day or what happened in their day that they want to kind of write about, whether it's write down something, draw a picture or whatever. I want them to be included in this so that we can kind of look back on this. And it's really kind of fun. Like I looked back on last year and it was kind of fun to go back and see the different things that we did with the kids in our first year with the trailer. So that's kind of cool. The next thing I'm going to talk about is a bit of the arts and crafts side of things. So, I mean, of course, this totally depends on your kid. My daughter absolutely loves arts and crafts. My oldest loves to draw and be creative and write in a journal sometimes. My youngest isn't that much into coloring stuff yet, but so it's totally based on your kids. But you can bring all sorts of things. You bring popsicle sticks. I have glue and I have tape. I also have construction paper. I have some old notebooks that I've used a few of the pages for, but there's still lots of pages left, so those are really great as well if you have scrap paper. I also bring a clipboard with me. Now you might wonder, why would you use a clipboard when camping? Well, sometimes you can find some great scavenger hunts that you can actually print off from different websites that you send off to search for things that would be outdoors, like look for a green leaf, look for a purple flower, you know, that kind of thing. So these are really cool because then the kids can put the piece of paper on the clipboard and they can go ahead and search for the items, and it makes it a lot easier. So I have one for each kid in here. I got these from the dollar store, so they're not high quality by any means when it comes to clipboards. But it's kind of fun for them to have something that they can go do that. And also sometimes my kids will just use this as a picnic table to write on, because picnic tables can be a bit bumpy and stuff sometimes. So sometimes they'll use that for that as well. So clipboards are definitely something that I probably wouldn't have thought of at one point, but they're actually quite handy. I also have this bin that has markers, pencils, pencil sharpener, crayons, pencil crayons, you name it, I have it in here. I also have some small scissors in here, just so that they can, you know, do some arts and crafts and be creative if they're looking for something to do. It's just a random assortment of stuff we had at home. Don't go and buy things. You probably have enough stuff around your house from old school supplies and that sort of thing. Or if anything, just run to the dollar store. They don't have to be high quality stuff. But this is, you know, it's nice just to pull this out, put this on the table, and they can go at it and have some fun arts and crafts time. So arts and crafts are just one of those things that's a perfect rainy day activity. Now I'm going to move on to a little bit more of the outdoor as we're going to the table, stuff at the table and everything. I'm also going to talk a bit about games and what we have for that. So we have a couple of these games here. I got these from Costco. So I have one that's about the world, dinosaurs, and animals around the world. These are really cool because they have a little book about different facts. It has a board, and then they have all these magnetic pieces that you can match onto the bottom, or you can build a scene. Funny enough, I got these for my kids last year, and we were at a site where the kids didn't really know what they wanted to do, so I pulled these out, and these kept the kids busy for so long, so they can learn a little bit and have a little fun too. So my kids are all obsessed with dinosaurs, and they have been for a long time, so that was definitely a one. This one's really cool because it talks about different countries and stuff in the world, so I thought it'd be good for educational for them. And I mean, what kid doesn't like animals? This one's new, we haven't opened it yet. But now my thought was, well, we have 3 of them, so that between the 3 of them, they can decide what ones they want to use, and they can share and everything else. And these stay in the trailer. These do not come home. We don't have these at home. Okay, and then as we're in the game theme, if you saw my other video about my organization, you would have seen this a little bit. But I have various board games. I have the Game of Life, I have a Monopoly. So I have a few different board games, but one thing that's the biggest hit for our kids is domino pieces, Jenga pieces, and trouble pieces. So these little pieces, these little guys from the game, from the trouble game, my kids love them. So I got these folder things, envelope things off Amazon. They're plastic with the zipper, so they keep everything in nicely in. If you have board games, I highly recommend using this because they take up less space. They can kind of nicely slide into a spot. I have a small cupboard that I use to store these in. And also these are really great for like the domino pieces and stuff because it's easy for them to clean up. We have a crib board because my husband and I like to play crib, although if you don't have a crib board, you can play crib. Just take a notepad and a paper and just keep adding up until you get to 121. So you don't need a crib board to play crib, but I like to have one when we're traveling because it's an easy game to kind of pick up and play. We have a deck of cards. I keep them in a Ziploc bag because the box actually got a bit destroyed, so they're in here. We have a tradition with the kids that every night we get them ready for bed and then we play a round of Go Fish and then they go to bed. But you know, we can use these for obviously for crib and other things. I also have other card games like Skip-Bo and Uno and Phase 10, stuff like that. My kids are a little young for some of the games, but definitely as they get older, it'll be fun to have some games on hand. Now, you might wonder why I have cookie sheets out here because I'm not talking about baking or cooking. Well, I have these first of all because they do fit in my oven. But the other thing is the kids will put these out on the picnic table and they'll use some of these pieces, but then they can keep them in here and they're not going to fall off the table. So these are actually really great for things like that as well. So if you have little cookie sheets around, they work really well for if you have little pieces for things and all that kind of stuff. So those keep the kids busy as far as sitting down, rainy day kind of activities. I mean, even if it's not raining, like my kids will sometimes just want to sit out at the table and just play with these things. And I tell you, they are so creative with them. They will create, like my son likes the game Among Us. I don't know much about it. And likes Minecraft. So he'll create his own kind of Minecraft or Among Us game with these pieces. My youngest was stacking the Jenga pieces the other day. So they build things with them and they're creative. So it's kind of fun to watch to see what they come up with. And they're just using some pieces from a game. So these have been probably the most popular ones that my kids have used when we've been camping is the Jenga and the dominoes pieces and the trouble pieces. So those are just some ideas of some of those sit down rainy day activities to keep the kids busy. Now, as far as outdoor stuff, so we do have a soccer ball because, you know, you can't go wrong with a soccer ball for the kids to kick around the campsite or a field, because some campgrounds they go to have a field or even at the beach. And then I've also found a few games I thought might be kind of fun for the kids in the water. This one's called Skip Ball. So it looks like you just take the ball and you can skip it across the water because our kids like to spend time in the water. And then this one is a pool ball, so looks like you can go underneath the water with it. Just a couple things I picked up. We haven't used it yet because, I mean, they're still in the boxes. Oh, and also I have a bin of toys. So these are just random toys that I took from home. So we have some cars, some dinosaurs, some bugs, pony, a few McDonald's toys in here. So I just have this small bin because it's funny because my kids have so much stuff at home, but yet when we're camping, they're totally fine with this bin of toys. So I have that bin of toys for the kids. Something else for outdoors that we have is I got this bocce set actually off Amazon. I love the fact that it comes in this nice little bag. I actually kept it in the box just to keep it protected. But it has like the bocce balls in here and the little balls. So bocce, obviously you don't want to say play it on like a dirt road or anything, but I thought it'd be a fun game to have if we ever are near a field, because there are some campgrounds that we are at a field that we're able to play bocce at. And it's just another one of those games that the kids are like, oh, I'm bored, I don't know what to do. That's another game we can pull out. Now this I haven't tried yet. It's a ball game, so it's essentially, it looks like you just take these paddles and you're bouncing the balls back and forth to each other, as you can see from the picture back here. Again, I thought it looked kind of fun and easy and something different, because my biggest thing is I don't want the kids to get bored of the same thing. So sometimes I like to get different things that they maybe haven't used or anything. We have a badminton racket. These are great because you can play with them just on the road of the campground and stuff like that, and they're not going to, you know, go too far. They're not going to hit anything. So badminton rackets are kind of fun for that too. We got a kite because sometimes we're on beaches that have a lot of space to fly a kite, or there's a big field where you're not near any trees. So it's nice to have this just in the trailer, just for something else for the kids. Another thing we have that our kids love is a hammock. This one is from Costco. It's by Hidden Wild. It's really great because you just pick 2 trees, and they don't have to be super wide trees or super narrow trees because the cord that you wrap around is actually quite wide, quite big. So we'll set this up and the kids will just hang out in the hammock, or we try to hang out in the hammock and the kids join us. But it's a great place if you have kids that like to read or something. It's a great place. We have a couple little pillows that we got, and they can sit in there and read or just relax or whatever. We do have 2 of them because there's 5 of us, so we figure 2 of them is good because then usually we can kind of share between the 5 of us. But we have 2. Sometimes finding the right trees for your campsite can be a little complicated, but it's actually really easy to set up. Another thing I have that's actually for the kids and us is a sit-upon. So this just unrolls and then the kids can sit on it. There's a bit of a backrest on it. So it's great for the beach because we don't always want to drag our chairs to the beach because they're big and bulky. And with all the stuff that we bring to the beach, it's nice to not always bring that. So we have these. We have 5 of them. We have 2 blue ones and 3 red ones. They're just Coleman. I got them off Amazon. I think they're around like $20 or $25, but these are great. My husband and I use ours all the time, but also we have the folding chairs with the tray from Costco. We sometimes, if it's cooler out, we'll put these on the chair just for extra like heat, I guess, to extra gap between us and the air. So sometimes we'll put those on there, or they're also great at a picnic table. So if you're sitting at a picnic table and you don't want to sit directly on it, you can put these out as well. So they're very versatile. So we got some for the kids this year because the kids didn't have their own yet. Now my son is obsessed with cars, so we have this big truck. It's very sandy, so I'm not going to take it out, but we have this big truck. We have a couple of these active flyers, so those like frisbee type things. We have a few toys like these rings and stuff that they can throw in the water. And now these bins. So this is the bin that I use one of these bins for putting our dirty dishes in. And one of them I don't use for anything except for storing stuff in. So like my daughter the other day was putting sand in it, making a beach in here. So the buckets like this are great because the kids can use them in the water, they can use them in the sand. It's amazing how creative they can get with just like a bucket. So this is great because it stores stuff, but also the kids can use it to play with. Now we often go to the beach a lot with our kids. Because we try to camp at places that have lakes and stuff. Now, not every place we go to has a sandy beach necessarily, but the beach toys are nice as well because they can be used at the campground in the dirt. So you don't necessarily have to be at a beach to enjoy them. So we have, different things. Like we have a couple of the beach buckets. I don't have them in here right now. I have to put them in. But a couple of beach buckets in here. We have some shovels and a Rubbermaid bin in there. We have some trowels. So we have a couple different shovels here. We have more of these frisbee things. We have these things that you guys remember. I remember from when I was a kid. Mine was green and pink, I think. But we have these with the ball. So we just have like a random assortment of these toys. And this is a shopping bin from one of our local stores. And it works great because there's holes in the bottom. So if there's a bit of water in it, it'll just drain out. And we stick this in the shower as well. So, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. But what we found was when we first went camping last year, actually I think it was the year before when we first went camping in 2020, I brought way too many beach toys because I learned very quickly that the kids are fine playing with less stuff. So I downsized what I brought. So I have this, and then I have a Rubbermaid bin that has a few things in it as well. And that works perfectly fine for the 3 kids. So that's kind of what we have there for the kids. So we have lots of different things for our kids. We have some stuff that they can sit at the table and play with. We have stuff they can play with around the campsite. We have stuff they can play with in the water. So we have a little bit of everything. I would highly recommend if you do have kids, or even actually as adults, just for going to the beach and stuff, a collapsible wagon. We have 2 of them because we figure with 3 kids and with all our stuff, we want to bring some snacks down. I have a beach bag that I bring our snacks and towels in, and we bring water down, and then all the toys and stuff. We find that 2 wagons is what we need, but the collapsible wagons are great. They actually fit nicely in our truck, so they don't take up a lot of space. And we even found that when my son was, like last year when we went on a road trip and the year before, when my son was 3, and even when he was 2, we actually brought the wagons with us and didn't bring a stroller with us. So if we did like a zoo or anything like that, we just used the wagon, and it was way better because it was a space saver in the van, and they're so easy to use. They collapse easily. So I highly recommend for camping, get a wagon. They're also great if you are camping with a group of people and you're at different sites. You can easily transport your stuff between sites. It worked really well when we were camping with family last year. They were able to bring their stuff with the wagon from their site to our site. So I think anyone can use a wagon who's camping. I don't see why anyone would not want to use it. So I highly recommend a collapsible wagon. We got ours from Costco both years. Costco, I mean, I don't know about the States, but in Canada, Costco comes out with the wagon every year. They're always very popular. They always go very fast. So that's kind of all the stuff that we bring for our kids. It might seem like a lot, but we do have room for it, so we're able to bring it because we're fortunate that we're able to have this trailer and we're able to bring it all. But if you do have any more questions about things that we bring or any other ideas, definitely let me know in the comments below. And if I don't put any links in my description box because I might forget to or didn't find the exact link, let me know if there's anything that you want to link for to where I got it from. A lot of this stuff, I'll be honest, some of it I got from Costco years ago. Some of it I got off Amazon. Some of it I already had. So not all of it is, from somewhere specific or stuff that I had to go out and get. So I hope today's video was helpful and gave you some ideas of what to bring with you when you're traveling with your kids or going camping, or even just going to like a beach resort or something with your kids that you're just driving to. These are some great things that you can bring for the kids to keep them busy. Now you don't have to bring as many games and stuff as I brought, but I just like to kind of be prepared so that I have a variety of things for the kids to do. So if you did enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up, as that does help my channel a lot. If you did enjoy today's video, along with the content you see here on my channel, I would love if you consider subscribing and joining my YouTube family. So don't forget that red subscribe button and the notification bell to miss any future videos from me. Thank you so much for watching my video today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!